Welcome to the Bougie Baldie Podcast with your host, Kellie Rhymes.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Bougie Baldie Podcast. Today's episode, we have a great woman who is doing some wonderful things in the hair loss community. Another hair loss advocate here, Katina Prescott. But before we get into Katina, let me introduce myself to those of you who do not know me. My name is Kellie. I am a women's hair loss support and authenticity coach, and I am here to help women through the emotional phases and challenges that they experience when they are facing hair loss. So I take women from insecure to confident because you still have a life to live. You still have things to do on this earth, and I am here to help you move forward during your hair loss journey. All right. So let's get into Katina Prescott. All right.
Hello.
So go ahead and say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Kellie.
You are welcome. Okay, so let me read a little bit about you, Katina, and we'll get into some questions so you can share with everyone all of the amazing things that you are doing. All right.
All right.
Well, Katina Prescott was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and transitioned to Dallas, Texas in 2017. With over 20 years of work experience in leadership and project management within the social service and workforce development sectors. Katina is a remarkable woman with a powerful personal testimony that has fueled her passion to uplift and empower others. Her journey is one of resilience and determination. She is the founder and president of the She Is Movement, Inc., which is a tax-exempt non-for-profit organization. Katina is also the owner and pageant director of the Miss Bald and Beautiful Pageant. In addition, she is a certified life coach with specialized training in women's empowerment and career development. Welcome again, Katina.
Thank you for such an introduction.
You are very welcome. Now, for those of you who are watching this podcast, this episode, you may have heard me mention, or you may follow me on social media or my email list, and you've heard me talk about this pageant because I am a contestant in the Miss Bald and Beautiful pageant. And that is one of the reasons why I brought Miss Katina on so she could talk about the pageant as well as the other work she's doing because she's out here doing a lot.
A lot. Yes,
So,
ma'am.
Katina, can you start? And this is how I usually start off anyway, but can you start off by telling everyone what was your hair loss journey? You could just share a little bit about your journey with hair loss.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So my journey started in I would say like early spring of 2016, where I started seeing my hair thinning. And with that, I was very ill for a little bit. And the doctors, it was basically my blood, the red blood cells. So it impacted a lot for me being such an anemic. I had anemia, but my red blood cells was so very low that it impacted like my kidneys and things like that. So as they're doing more tests and things like that, I noticed like a lot of physical change in me too. Very fatigued, the thinning, the hair shedding more than ever before I identified myself as having alopecia. And also like my skin, my nails very thin. It's just a lot that if you ever have anything about saying like, oh, I'm just anemic, get it checked out, because I think within our community of African Americans, we hear that and it's like, oh, take some iron pills, take this, but the blood is the lifeline to your body. It supplies everything, all the internal organs, it impacts everything, including your hair.
Yeah.
So my hair loss journey actually was impacted due to me being a severe anemic. So alopecia, is the meaning of it is hair loss. So I have alopecia, but what contributed to that is because of my blood disorder that I have.
Okay.
So with that being said, I will say, as I dealt with that and gotten education, seeing specialists and things of that nature. I feel like I always tell people, I feel like my journey wasn't as difficult because I was focused on the more like, oh, my kidneys, other things versus the hair loss was important to me as about my physical health. And I've always been one who kind of like the extremist. I've had a very, very low, like ball fade back in the day. I've had pretty much everything you can imagine a woman having as far as her hairstyle. I've
Mhm.
had, and I've had color. So my community of people, my family, anytime I did something, it's like, she did something else. What's next? So for the acceptance piece of it, I would say, and I'm thankful for my circle of friends and family that initially just thought I just was doing something else and I hadn't shared other than my family. And my children are the ones who were just like, you need to share, because if you're going to do this, just go all out, your personality and things of that nature. So I would say externally to people, it may seem like I had accepted it.
Mhm.
Better than some of the ladies that I've engaged with about their hair loss journey. But in all actuality, I was just distracted because of my disorder. It could have had other serious medical conditions. So my focus was on that, not really caring what people thought, how I looked externally and things of that nature.
Okay.
Once I got all that stuff under control, I just owned it. I really just owned it because I had the opportunity to be in public, accept who I was as I am, and
Mhm.
also being loved on by my inner circle. So it was not an easy road because that's never easy, but I would say my support was right up front, the initial. So I didn't have to do like, I've interacted with some ladies and they said, they feel like they were in hiding and things of that nature. I feel
Mhm.
like my story is just a little different because my whole start of this was because of a medical condition, which if they said kidneys, blood, fainting versus hair, I'm going to go get the medical. So
Exactly.
I am very, very sensitive about the stories. And when I share my journey, I walk definitely in it. And then even with trying to let my hair grow back because it has been and so impacted, my edges, the
Mhm.
top, the back is very thin. So to me, I'm just like, I'm not finna put a weave in. I'm not finna wear braids. If
Mhm.
I do wear a wig, it's usually like an accessory with the outfit. Like if
Okay.
I want to feel like I'm going like a New York style with my New York baseball cap and my Tim's on or something,
Mhm.
it feels a
Mhm.
little wavy, but it ain't gonna be too long. By the time I get in the car leaving from wherever I'm going, I didn't I didn't throw it
Dust it
on.
off.
Yeah, it's like a bad pair of shoes that hurt your feet. Can't wait to get in the car. With
Yes.
so at this point I've owned it. But being in the Baldie community, I have met some wonderful women whose stories are very heartfelt for me. We were very relatable. We have something in common. We're bald, but our journeys are so different. But at the end of the day, it is the confidence. It's the person that you are. And all of us, if we wanted to, can go and purchase a wig or figure out what these beauticians are very, very creative.
Yes, they
You
are.
can make it work. But if
Yes.
you choose not to do that, you should be okay with that. So I don't knock anybody who chooses, to wear a
Mhm.
wig, and or if they just were born with a great head of hair. We're still women. So I always try to go that route. I don't want to walk in a room with my other sisters or people I meet and they have hair and let that be my identifier. No, I'm mingling and I'm jumping right in there as a woman with that. So
Exactly.
I don't let the baldness define me. I truly don't. And I think a little bit of that is because of my personality. And I've always kind of been an extremist. So when I did reveal it, it was like, oh, you done went crazy, girl. And I try to, well, what's next? Da, da, da. And I was like, no, this is it.
This is it. This is
This
what
is
it
it.
is.
You want to
This
take
is
it or leave it.
permanent.
This is it. Take it or leave it. And yeah, so my
Well,
journey, it was
well, can
hard.
you tell us what type of alopecia do you actually have? Arietta?
Ariella.
Mhm.
That's what
Okay.
a dermatologist told me. But
Okay.
my hemoglobin specialist, my doctor, has told me the reason why my hair is thin, because it will grow. It will
Okay.
grow, but it's so fine that to me, it doesn't make sense. Like if I wanted a good look, I would
Mhm.
have to be fuller. So I
Yeah.
choose not to. I literally shave my hair every day
Yep.
because it will grow. The where I see that it's mostly thinning is around the edges here. And
Mhm.
that's also kind of in my family too, like my sisters and stuff like that,
Mhm.
thin around there too. So, but that's what a dermatologist told me. But again, I don't know. It's hard to say because I'm like, if I didn't have this blood disorder, would my hair be like that?
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
that kind of
Got it.
thing. Yeah.
So I know you said you were focusing on your blood disorder and your
Mhm.
actual health. But whenever you saw how thin your hair was getting and you were making that decision to cut it off, and I know you said you had support, did you have any emotional challenges that went along with that? Like before you really made that decision that I am just gonna cut it off,
Yeah.
what emotions did you go through?
Um, embarrassment. Like I felt ashamed. I
Okay.
felt at some points like, would I be accepted if I really did it?
Mhm.
Once people saw that it wasn't just a thing I was going through, because again, I've been extreme with some stuff. I've had my hair very, very, very low
Mhm.
before, but I let it grow and I probably put a texture in it, something. But yeah, it's an emotional thing when you really have to own it.
Yeah.
And most of the time, the initial thought is, what will other people think?
Mhm.
That's the thing. What will other people think? And it takes time to get to that point of, I don't care what other people think. So
Exactly.
I honestly, that would be the thing that I was most concerned about. What would other people think once they
Yeah.
identify that this is what it's going to be?
And you have to be strong
Oh, yes.
to move past that because everybody's not strong enough to do that. Some people really care about what people think about them, and that's just like that's their thing.
Mhm.
You have to be a certain type of person, and if you're not that type of person, you have to be really strong to change your mindset to say I don't care because you want to put yourself first. And that's how I felt. Like I'd
Mhm.
rather put myself first and be happy, and free without
Mhm.
hair
Mhm.
versus worrying about what other people thought. Now, did I
Absolutely.
even have that thought in my mind of like, what do people think? Are they gonna think I'm a man or they think I'm ugly? Yada
Right.
yada yada. Yeah, that
Yeah.
came into play,
Mhm.
but I had to move past it
Yeah.
because it was still all about my happiness. And like to your
Absolutely.
point, that confidence is the key. That's just it.
That's
You
it.
have to own it. You have to hold your head up and you have to strut your stuff like anybody else in the room because you
Exactly.
and know you're still beautiful because you are. You
And I,
are.
I agree 100%. It's the mindset that you have, and not to have a negative attitude like I don't care. But when you enter the room, not even letting the fact that you don't have hair be the first thing on your mind.
Yeah.
I'm at this point where I go and you cannot tell me.
Exactly. It's not even a thought. Because if you
And
looking at me,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, you looking at me because I'm beautiful. You can't believe I'm
exactly.
beautiful without hair, right? I'm
Without hair. Yeah, and there's a lot of envy. I don't know if you've noticed it. There's a lot of envy.
oh
I've
yeah.
gotten a lot of women say, I wish I could. Oh my
Yep.
God, you're so beautiful. Or men, natural beauty. Oh my God. Or, you
Hmm.
know what? I wanted my wife to, people literally bringing wives over and saying, like, look, like,
Yep.
and without saying, but I know that's that person's way of trying to encourage his wife, like maybe, honey, you can do this, kind of thing. So I completely own it. And again, my story is just a little bit different, but
Hmm.
it's still a time where you have to go against so much of like the social norms, right?
Yes.
About being
Yes.
beautiful and things of that nature. And I try to keep my mindset as, even if I had a head full of hair, it's gonna be something. My
Hmm.
hips aren't wide enough. My lips are too big. My this or that. I'm shorter, taller, I'm heavier, I'm thinner. We
Hmm.
have as women so many standards that we have to consider, but really we don't. That's what people have developed that, and we have to take
Right.
ownership and accept who we are, how we were produced, how God wanted us to be, and own that. And
Yes.
it's a journey to get there. And I think you're right. It's definitely a person who has to have a strong personality to kind of get over that sooner rather than later. But there are a lot of people who are concerned about what the outside world thinks
Oh,
about.
yes. I mean, I'm part of a support group with the Scarring Alopecia Foundation. So
Mhm.
I lead support groups once a month for the CCCA group,
Okay.
right? And I mean, there are people in there who are experiencing extreme sadness, extreme depression. You know, like
Mhm.
these, it's really bad for a lot of women. You know, everybody is gonna be different. Everybody goes down their own journey. However, I can say probably most of the time, women go through whenever you're facing hair loss in
Mhm.
particular, women, we kind of go through the similar phases. You know, we may not have all of the same phases, but we do go through some similar phases. And
Mhm.
ultimately, there does become a point to where you get to acceptance, like you said, like
Yeah.
my hair isn't coming back. Now your hair will grow, but you know it's going to be too thin and you won't be
Yeah.
happy with it. My
Right.
hair, it grows, but I know I'm going to have bald spots.
Yeah.
So there's no point of letting it grow. This is what it is. And
This
I
is what
will
it
not
is.
have hair unless I put a wig on. And that's
Exactly.
just it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it just takes some time. I always tell women, give yourself grace. Like,
That is what I say too. I tell you
yeah.
all the time, give yourself grace, take time, and think of it as anything else. Like if
Hmm.
it's a woman who felt she needed to lose weight for whatever the reason is, you're not going to go to the gym on day one and
Right.
see the results that you want. Give
Hmm.
yourself grace, trust the process. And I feel like it's the same thing with hair loss. And then you make the, informed decision. Do you want to cover or do you want to reveal? It's
Yes.
your choice at the end of the day. And I really feel people will treat you and embrace you based on how you, that energy, if you feel not beautiful, it
Hmm.
comes off.
Yeah.
People will be like, oh, but if you go in and you're that person, yeah, they see that you're bald, but that's not the thing about you. It's not that person. Like that's Katina. That's, oh, look at the bald lady. That's Katina because I come in the room as Katina. I happen
Hmm.
to be a bald woman.
Yep.
That's just it. But it,
And
it takes time.
yeah, and people will pay attention to you. They may stare at you because they're just curious.
Mhm,
But let me
mhm.
tell you how confidence works. I was at a concert one time. I'm sitting in the audience
Uh-huh.
and, my bald head, I got my dress on. I'm, looking cute, having a good time.
Mhm.
And the artist on the stage picked me out from the crowd and
What?
created a whole song for me.
What?
Yes. And at first he was like, all right, let me ask you this question. Now, are you bald by choice or no? I was like, no, I've been bald for some years. And he was like, okay, we good then. And girl, he
Okay.
created me a whole song about me being
I
bald and
love it.
beautiful and
I
everything. And I was
love
like,
it.
yes.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. I love
So
that.
yeah, you got to show up confident.
You got to show up confident.
Got to
You
show
do.
up. So let's switch gears a little bit
Okay.
and let's talk about your Facebook group. Now, I know your Facebook group is linked to the pageant, but which
Yes.
one did you start first? Was it the Facebook group or the pageant?
So we started the pageant first, and then we
Okay.
created the Facebook group as a centralized space for everybody to kind of congregate all of the contestants. But it has grown into something else since then, and I'm very excited about that.
Okay. Okay. So do you want to talk about the pageant first or you want to talk about the group?
Either one, it doesn't matter. It's
All
good stuff.
right. So let's talk about the pageant first since it came first, and
Yes.
then we'll go into the Facebook group.
Okay.
Now, I mentioned that I am a contestant, and
Yes.
Miss Katina just sent out the list of the order we're going in. And guess what?
Yes.
I'm number one. And I'm like, what?
You're number one.
I'm like, number one? Wait a minute.
Yes, yes. You're gonna set the standard and set it high. I already know.
Okay, I'm here for my assignment. I'm here.
Yes,
So
yes.
I will be contestant number one.
Yeah.
And we have been meeting, we have been planning and getting ourselves together. But tell everybody about the pageant. What made you start the Miss Bald and Beautiful pageant?
So yes, so this is bittersweet for me. So the Miss Bald and Beautiful pageant was an idea that I had for a little bit of time. I would say probably like 2017, maybe even 2018. But at the time, I had an executive position in the corporation and very, very busy, travel, travel, travel. But I had shared the idea to my mother. And she just thought it was everything because now she see me being a bald woman. I'm in the corporate room with my counterparts and the only black boss. So she thinking like, oh, her daughter. And she always wanted me to really take the time to make that happen for women who are going through. And shame on me at that time. I did. I truly was committed to my career, sacrificing time and even sacrificing this vision God had gave me back then. I just let it sit dormant. Unfortunately, my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2022.
Okay.
She had a very long battle. Usually, what I've learned since dealing with that with her is that normally when people are diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, it goes pretty quick. My mom fought very hard for 2 years, very strong woman. And even to have her go through that, it broke me. I made some major life decisions to be able to be there and support her. And then I got hit with my own personal medical condition. I had to have treatments and stuff where it was just a lot. And I decided to walk away from my corporate career, what I identify was my dream job. And today I can say I don't regret that because that allowed me to now do purposeful work. And I'm happy in this space. And I feel like God had to sit me down, slow me down for whatever reason. And I truly believe the reason was for the work that I'm doing now. So with that being said, my mom transitioned to hospice. She actually passed January 3rd, 2024. We had and then I announced the pageant February 7th. Because I just felt it was something, it was like one more thing I wanted her to be proud of me about, something she pushed. And I just was like, I'm gonna do it. And I never did. So when I jumped into that was during my grieving period. And I didn't have anything planned. I didn't know where it was going to be held. All I know is I had a notebook, ran downstairs in my garage. I found the notebook with some of the ideas I had, and I kind of went off that, had my son record me. I'm like, we're doing a pageant, da, da, da. I didn't have a date, venue, location. I didn't know nothing, never knew anything about the pageant world. I learned as I went. And when I saw the response from the women when it was renounced from that one little video, I could not make that happen. So I was able to put my time and energy into learning about the pageant business while coordinating and planning, while building relationships, sponsorships, and finding contestants. Like, it was a big thing for me. But I told the contestants from 2024 that they just have no idea. Like, they were my sanity during my grieving process. I was very vocal and transparent about what I was going through. I asked for their patience in my developing of things. So it was sometimes like, we're going to do this. And then I went through a little training. I was like, oh, we can't do that. Hey, ladies, we're not going to do that. We're going to do this, because I was learning as I was going. But I would say God surrounded me with a village of knowledgeable people, supportive people who understood the purpose of this mission. And it really grew into something I had no idea that it could be as of today and what we have planned going forward. So the pageant really was something more personal of why I initiated and developed it, but it had transitioned into something that was a need that brought sisterhoods and built relationships with several women. Like I talked to so many individuals that I have never even met in person. Like, and it's just like you and I, how we talk. It's like girlfriends, like, hey, Kellie, da, 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 and we help each other out. And somebody was going through something, she called. I'm like, we're not doing that. We're going to fix this. I got a friend who can do this. And it's just like, that's what it's about. It's about sisterhood. It's about support. It's about empowering. Yes, we have a common thing. We are bald women, but we are women at the end of the day. So let's normalize sisterhood. Let's redefine the definition of beauty as we see it individually, and love on each other. And the only thing that I would take back is I wish I had my mom here. So in person, I know she's watching over, but in person, to have her see the joy of these women and hear some of the stories and how things are going. But other than that, I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay.
I wouldn't change.
Well, first, let me say I am sorry for the loss of your mother. I know that was very difficult,
Yes,
very difficult.
absolutely.
Yeah, and I do understand how during your grieving process you get busy.
Yeah.
You get busy because you want to take your mind off of what has
Mhm.
happened. But a beautiful thing has come out of it, and
Yes.
you are now honoring your mother. So
Yes. Yes. Yes.
kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right. So this is the correct,
Yes.
second annual Miss Baldwin Beautiful Pageant.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. How many contestants do you have this year?
So this year we have 21. No, I'm sorry. We have 18. We have 18. We started with 21. Things happen. But I said, let me know now if you need to jump back in. We still got space. So for the Texas one, which is in August, we have the 18 contestants, you being one of them. So we have that. But we also have the DMV pageant that we're going to be hosting in March of 2026. And we're partnering with a wonderful, dynamic woman who Miss Tamika, I just can't wait to really put her out there. But she does phenomenal work in the breast cancer survivor, women who have had mastectomies. So we're partnering for a project as well in 2026. And then we just sealed the deal yesterday within a meeting to move forward to the Midwest. So we got the pageants rolling.
Okay. Now, where in the Midwest are you coming to?
So we're
I
either going
am.
to do Illinois, Chicago, or St. Louis. So that's the thing that we have to do. But of course, I'm from Wisconsin, so that's my thing too. So Indiana, Chicago, Wisconsin, St. Louis, Michigan, like all those areas. Come on in. Just like the DMV, we actually
Yeah.
still have people coming from DC, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina. So the board and I, what we've agreed to do is, yes, this is our hosting. This is where we founded things. But if we can take the pageant to certain areas where we can say in the surrounding areas, like we'll do the Midwest, the surrounding, so people don't always have to travel to Texas, but also understanding with the nonprofit, the movement, the title holder has responsibilities, right? We have basically Texas in our area, we have it covered. We have Miss Candy Green. This is the headquarters of the She Is movement. So we do work here. That title holder, if she comes from another state, we're going to support her in doing her movement or her community work, awareness and all that. We're in her city where she's from. So we want to spread out what we're doing here to other states.
Okay. Now, can you tell us a little bit about the categories in the pageant?
Absolutely. So we have the talent, which seems to be the most popular. That's the one I get the most phone calls about. But ladies have been very creative and just helping them think outside the box. So we have the talent category, singing, dancing, spoken word, and I won't say some other stuff because they got that covered. That's 90 seconds. We have the swimsuit / swimwear category. My prerogative, which is one of my favorites, and that's the category where you really show us as a bald woman, walk that stage in your confidence. What would you dress if you're going out in a town and you're feeling good? What does that look like for you? So whatever your outfit is, or I know for 2024 we had some ladies that had different backgrounds and cultural, so they had like African attire on to represent their culture and things of that nature. But that's the one where you can be the most creative and really show us as a bald woman getting out there. What does that look like on it? Let us see your sense of style. So that's my favorite because they got some nice clothes and they can coordinate together. We got some fashionistas. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm excited about seeing that. We have the formal wear, which is a beautiful thing. We are working right now with some organizations to mainly some of the fraternity brothers to see if we can get escorts again for the beautiful ladies, bringing them out in their formal gowns. And then we have the interview question. The interview question is more heartfelt because a lot of the people who will be in attendance will have alopecia and or are supporters. So the questions are geared to be a little bit more personal. It's like if you were to meet a woman who was feeling embarrassed, what would you tell that person? What was your experience like when you first made that decision? Like, I'm going to cut, things like that.
Okay.
So nothing, because some of the ladies are like, well, what kind of question? I was like, things that probably going to come from the heart that should be easy for you to answer, because it's a true story. It's what you really would tell someone about your experience and your journey from there. So yes, those are the categories. We have my prerogative, which is my favorite, talent, swimwear, formal gown, and then the interview question.
Okay. All right. Now, since we're on the topic, go ahead and tell everybody when the pageant is, where it is, how they can get tickets, give them all of the information about the pageant.
Yes. So the Texas pageant, which is our first pageant that's coming up, is Saturday, August the 16th, 2025. We're going to have it at the same location at the Arts Center, which is a beautiful space for us in Mesquite, Texas. Tickets. Right now, we do have early bird tickets on sale for $35 until the end of May. Regular general admission will be $55, but we've extended the early bird special for that. You can go right on Eventbrite, put in Baldie Beautiful Pageant. It should come right up there. Tickets are going very, very well. And the board decided, let's go ahead, even though it serves as a fundraiser for the She Is movement, let's go ahead and open it because the Art Center has a lot of seating. So we want to make sure those seats are filled so the women can feel the love and feel supported. So we have extended the early bird ticket sales for $35 until the end of May. But yeah, we're really excited. Things are going well. I just think it's going to be another great performance.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure all these beautiful bald ladies. Yes, we're going to have a great time.
Yes.
All right. Now, you mentioned She Is Movement. We're going to come back to that because I want to get into the Facebook group that complements the pageant.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we'll get into the She Is Movement.
Okay.
You tell everybody about your Facebook group, who can join, how can they join, give them all the details.
Okay. So yes, we have the Facebook group. It's simply Baldie Beautiful Pageant. That was initially going to be our, like I said, centralized meeting space. We put updates about the pageant. But it has transitioned to now where we have not just the bald women, we have supporters, family members, and spouses of bald women. And we even have a few individuals who have hair that just are intrigued because it kind of transitioned into more of a centralized space for the pageant. They get all the information there, but it's also a safe space too for women to share other things. And so we are considering rebranding that group because it has changed a little bit from when we first started. It was solely really just the contestants, but now it is the contestants from the previous ones, the ones that are from the other states, as well as our partners. And then again, like I said, some spouses, family members, supporters that are sharing things, but it maintains the purpose of what it is, and that is to empower women and build those sisterhood, build that relationship. And it is growing. And I like it because I'm one who's about quality over quantity, right? So I know it says Baldie Beautiful Pageant, but at the end of the day, when you get in that group, you're going to get posts and motivational videos and things like that from women who really have things to say, to uplift you, to share their story. And that's why I had proposed to the board, like, we might want to reconsider this because this space is growing. And I know it's all God driven, but it's growing to a safe space just for women who just need to be women.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm also going to put the link for the Facebook group in the description as well. So just make sure you guys know anything that Katina is mentioning will be in the description. So you guys can just click on it and go check it out, go sign up, get a ticket, go get in the Facebook group, whatever it is you need to do, you could do it.
Yes. Thank you for that.
All right. So now let's go ahead and jump into the She Is movement. Now, the Miss Baldie Beautiful Pageant is actually a fundraiser for the She Is Movement nonprofit organization.
Yes.
Can you talk about what the nonprofit organization is for? Who does it help? And give more information about that.
Absolutely. This is very dear to me as well. So the She Is movement, the word she is actually an acronym that happens to say she, and it's for strong, healed, and empowered. our mission statement is that we provide the services and resources to women who are on their transformational journey to be that strong, healed, and empowered woman that they were destined to be. Everybody has a story, but not everybody has the support that they need to get through that story or through that storm or that challenging part of their life. So we want to be a resource for women who might need certain things. For example, we have a career development workshop. We have a 3-day or a 5-day workshop, which is free. We have financial literacy, women who may need help with budgeting, credit repair, learning about other things like how to save, how to invest, things of that nature. That is free. We also have a legal advocacy. So we have partnered with 2 phenomenal attorneys. They are retired, but just so if you're going through something and you just need advice or need to be connected with someone who can help you through a situation, that we have that as well. And the initiative that this year's fundraising efforts are for is for our My Sister support line. We are going to be launching our sister support line, which is going to be open to all women, not just bald women. But we do have a certain we will have a certain option specifically for bald women if you have questions, if you want to discuss that and things like that. So we are looking to get that launched. I'm excited because all the services are for women right now. I feel like God's going to make us grow, but right now it's all about the women and empowering and building sisterhoods for those who may not have that already. We want to be that place, have that safe space for the ladies who may be struggling. And the other initiative that will be coming up is that we're going to be hosting our own podcast. It's called Her Strength, Her Story. And this is going to be a platform for women to share their journey in the event to uplift other women. So we're going to have guests on there, probably myself will start with my own personal story. My co-host, which is Miss Nicole, she's a previous pageant contestant. So we're looking to launch that directly after the pageant. And then we have the women's retreat. This will be our first year to have our women's retreat.
Okay.
And that's kind of like a sneak peek because Nicole probably is like, you weren't supposed to, but it's out now, Nicole. So we just solidify all the details of the retreat and where we're going, time frame, and that. So that announcement will be coming out. We are going to keep it very small and intimate because it is a retreat. We're going to have fun, but we will spend time to work on healing, restoring, supporting one another, learning coping skills and things of that nature. And then they can go wherever they want later and turn up. After that. So we have a lot of things going on. And our goal with the She Is movement is to really make an impact in the community of women who are in need of our services and or to network and build genuine, authentic sisterhoods. And even if the person's not in the state, but we want to cultivate that environment to make sure that happens.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Do you have to be in the state or in the city,
Nope.
your local city to participate, or can anyone around the United States or around the world participate?
Yes, anyone can participate. So our services right now are virtual. We don't have a space. So even with the workshops, the career workshop, that's all virtual. Financial, everything is virtual. So anyone, if you know anyone that needs any of those services, more details are on our website. They definitely can contact. It'll tell you how to reach out or request for a service, and someone will contact you and see if we can get you in the next group that may be coming up.
Okay. All right, cool. So the She Is movement, are you all taking donations? How do people, or how can people support the She Is movement?
Yes, so we are always welcome and open to taking donations. It costs to get things running properly and the operations, and the more that we identify that there's a demand, we have to grow. So the board and myself and our volunteers, we can't do it alone, and finances is something that helps maintain the operational piece of it. So yes, if you would like to donate, if you go on our sheismovement.com website, you will see on the donation page that there is a link as well as a QR code that take you directly to the space where you can be able to place your donations. And we do utilize Zephy.com, and they allow us to get 100% of the donations. So we're excited. We don't have to pay any extra costs and stuff like that. So that's a Great
All
organization.
right, you guys. So you have several ways to support. You can
Yes,
support
yes.
by getting a ticket for the pageant. You can support by donating to the She Is movement. Okay, so don't say you don't know how to get involved.
Absolutely. And we are looking for vendors for the Texas pageant still. We
Okay.
have 4 spaces available, and we always need committed volunteers. If you are interested in any of those things, just go on the Bald and Beautiful pageant website. And there's going to be an interest form there, or the vendor application will be there. And we want to make sure that the women who are participating feel as beautiful and as special, and things run smoothly as if it was Miss America. So we really need committed volunteers to help us out this year.
Okay. All right. Now, I also mentioned that you are a certified life coach.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So how do you work in that capacity? Do you do that through the She Is movement, or do you do that as a separate business? Tell everybody about your work as far as a life coach.
Absolutely. Yes, I am a certified master life coach. I focus in women's empowerment and career development. Those are my specializations, although I do dabble a little bit in business solutions, mainly for individuals who are seeking to have a nonprofit organization. So that is actually a separate business, but the board and I are going to be sooner or later shifting that over to the She Is movement, trying to be creative and bringing funding in to support. But right now, it is a separate business under She Adore Life Coaching. That is my business.
Okay. All right. Now, can you tell us what is next for you? You mentioned a lot of things, and I know you weren't supposed to mention one thing, but what are some other things that you may be able to mention that you want to share with the audience?
So yes, the cat is out the hat for the retreat. But I would like to share and let you guys know that this pageant really has allowed me to do my purposeful work, and it is growing so much that we are in conversations with individuals in Ghana to
Oh,
potentially bring the pageant there. Yes.
oh, that would be awesome.
I'm like,
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
what? How did y'all? And it just happened on Facebook. Somebody saw a beautiful bald woman. She's from Ghana, saw our Facebook group, and she's a part of the group, spoke to some people there, and we have been having meetings talking about it. So not all details are set in stone yet, but I'm feeling really good about 2028.
Okay. Okay.
Seriously. So I'm really stoked on that. And then super excited about the podcast, Her Strength, Her Story, just to provide that platform for women who feel comfortable sharing their journey of hair loss and or mainly any life struggles. Again,
Mhm.
you and I, Kelly, people look at us, the first thing that they're going to notice that we can relate is that we're both bald women.
Yep.
But in conversation, you never know what else. What else? Like, oh, you too. And that's the most important thing for us. And sometimes when one person goes through something and another person goes in conversations like, oh, I didn't know that service was available. Or, oh, I never thought about writing in a journal or seeking therapy or really learning to forgive or
Right.
just even celebrating. Some of the ladies that I work with, they have recently went to to college and later in their year. And there was shame behind that because previous in their earlier stages of their life, situations didn't allow them to pursue secondary education because they had to be a parent, they had to be the wife, and things have changed for them. But there was a little, imposter syndrome a little bit. And I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, if you don't go and get that degree, with that, but just with cultivating again that safe space, anything that comes my way that feels right, that can bring more women together and provide more opportunity, I'm going to be on it like a rabbit. I'm on it. If it's
Okay.
good and if it makes sense, I'm strong with my discernment. So it's a lot of things that have said no to, because our baldness is not a fad. It's not a trend.
Mhm.
And I take it very personally when it comes across that way. Like, your story is not my story.
Mhm.
Like, meaning like you ain't had that struggle. You really do have a choice to walk around with your foot. Like, don't do that. Like,
Right.
that really gets me. So I have decided to not partner, and I'm very vocal, and I will say it. And it's my personal choice because the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing and how it's impacting people, it's because I love helping people. I love serving people. It's just now that God has positioned me to do it in a matter of what I've always wanted to do, because now I have the ability to do that.
I'm glad you said that, because your advocacy is through the pageant, right? As far as the hair loss. And for myself, I was sitting like, I started off doing one thing. I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to be a coach.
Yeah.
You know, and then it evolved, and I'm like, okay, I have a podcast. Now it's like, okay, I'm working on a TV show. So it's like things are just evolving, and I'm just letting God lead. I have no clue where I'm supposed to really ultimately be. And my friend, he talked about me the other day. He was like, this is not the Kellie I know. You're used to having your goals set and you're working towards that one goal and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, I know. That's how I operated in the past. But now I'm not operating like that. I am really out here like, well, I don't know. We're just taking actions.
Yes. And sometimes that is the best way, or the learning lesson. I had a conversation with the individual before, and she was telling me about myself, like, the schooling, the leadership roles, like I strived for that. And some people call me KP too. She was like, KP, that was just you going, those are teaching moments. Now you're in the role that you're supposed to be. I wanted to be in the leadership role. I had my own agenda, but ultimately God already knows what he has planned for us. And he will allow, I believe he will allow things to happen because we keep moving this way. And he's saying over here, but we get so caught up in the world and forget about that. And certain things happen. And again, I would give anything to have my mother back. But I will tell you that losing her, seeing her transition from the strong woman I knew, slowed me down. My own personal health slowed me down. That a 6-figure job, I'm up there, one of the two black, like I thought I was it. I walked away. Like I didn't even plan it. 2 weeks notice, that's it. That's it. And when I kind of woke up out the dream, I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, I didn't plan for that, but I promise you, and this is the truth, I ain't missed a beat. And you will not miss a beat. If you let him lead and you use your discernment and you keep doing the work, Kellie, everything that's supposed to happen and how you impact people, it's going to happen, sis. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Thank you for that, because I'm just like, hey, I don't know. I feel like I'm crazy. I'm like, this is not me.
And that's hard. That's hard to do, because you sound like how I used to be. Like I knew by this, and I still have some of that to make sure the bigger picture, the vision that God sees or has for me happens. But it's hard to let that control go. But that's when you can do that, you really have faith. You really demonstrate, I'm trusting you, God. I know you got this. That's a hard place to get. But when you get there, like, oh, that didn't work. What you got next?
Right. Oh, well.
What you got? Oh, well.
It's another day. It's a new day.
Thank you.
What are we doing?
Exactly. What are we doing? So you're gonna impact a lot of people, sister.
Thank you. Well, let's share with everybody. I know you talked about some of your links and things like that, but I want to kind of get it in one captured space.
Okay.
Tell everybody where to get the tickets for the pageant, the vendor information, all of that, how to donate to She Is Movement, how to get to the Facebook group. Like, let's just go through it one more time so people have it.
Absolutely. So anything relating to the pageant, you can find on the Bald and Beautiful Pageant.com. Everything pertaining to the applications for if you want to be a contestant in some of the other states we're going to be in, down to vendor, volunteer opportunities, getting your tickets. If you are traveling and you want to stay in our hosting hotel, which the Element in Dallas, downtown Dallas, is hosting us again. They gave us a phenomenal rate for the Bald and Beautiful. All those links are on that page. So it should be very, very simple. Anything relating to the She Is Movement, that's going to be sheismovement.com. Everything relating to how to donate, the services that we have, our mission, our journey, who our sponsors and partnership, all that good information is going to be on that website, and our amazing group on Facebook. It does say Bald and Beautiful Pageant. So if you go there, fill out the questions that it has there, and then one of our moderators will go ahead and approve. But on there, you will notice it is beyond just the contestants that are there. It's a beautiful circle of positive women who are empowering and supporting one another.
Thank you for saying that and giving that information. And speaking of the pageant and speaking of God, you all see my shirt. Keep God first.
Keep them first.
Yes, so this shirt was created and inspired by my grandmother who has passed away, but it is a shirt I am selling to raise funds to be a participant in the pageant because it costs money.
Yes.
And those funds are donated to the She Is movement. So if you guys want a shirt like this or any of my other shirts that are for the supporters of people with hair loss, or if you have hair loss yourself and you want a Bald and Bougie shirt, go to my website and pick you up a shirt. You can wear it yourself. You can get it for someone else, but there's a variety of things out there. So you don't have to have hair loss to pick up a shirt, okay? And you can get those shirts from limitlessmindsetcoach.com. That'll also be in the description of this episode. All right. Well, Katina, if you had one last thought or one last thing you wanted to leave with the audience, what would you give them?
Love your authentic self. Your authentic self, not society's norms, not what family, friends, children, coworkers think. Love yourself, and that energy will pass on. Love your authentic self.
Yes, yes. All right. Well, that is another episode of the Bald and Bougie podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in today. And we will be back next week to talk about another topic in regards to hair loss. All right. So from my heart to yours, we'll see you next week. Bye. Are you a woman struggling with hair loss, feeling unattractive and insecure? At Limitless Mindset Coaching, we understand the emotional toll that hair loss can take. In just 90 days, we help you transform from feeling lost and embarrassed to radiating with confidence and joy. Imagine building your self-esteem, discovering the perfect camouflage technique to cover up your hair loss, and receiving tips and tricks that can help you with your hair loss and embrace the new you while connecting with a supportive community of women just like you. Say goodbye to those negative emotions and hello to a positive mindset. Picture vibrant new relationships, walking through the room with your head held high, participating in social events and activities again, and living a life filled with happiness. Are you ready to take that first step? Well, visit www.limitlessmindsetcoach.com or click the link in the description today, and let's embark on this empowering journey together.
Thank you for watching the Bougie Baldie Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe